Hello and welcome to ALW Research Team. In this episode of the Hull Barnsley Series, we are leaving the lovely station buildings at Kirk Smeaton and we are documenting our way along the embankments and cuttings to the Huge Barnsdale Tunnel. For earlier episodes, click the card above or see the series links in the description box. Starting at the River Went, where the railway passed over the Willowbridge road and the river at quite an elevation made possible by the embankments lifting the trackbed high enough over the river and the road bridge. Quite a bespoke engineering feat in itself back in the 1880s.
Hey viewers, as you can see, the weather's got a bit worse. Now we're just outside the wonderful station of Kirk Smeaton, carrying on towards Stairfoot. Now, what I've got here is there's a large lump of sandstone left behind and a crossing gate here because the railway used to go across here. This is the remains of the parapet of the bridge. This section here and that section there, and then we've got the similarly looking Hull Barnsley type bridge here, but that's for the road and it's unrelated to the railway. This was the bridge for the railway here. I'll try and put a photograph of it up now.
The bridge was in fact two bridges. The upper top of the walls can be seen here in this image taken by a viewer called David Hatfield back in 1965 and emailed to ALW Research Team for use in this video. These engineering sketches supplied by my friend Mick Nicholson show Bridge 125 over the River Went. With Kirk Smeaton Station to the right in this orientation, there can be 5 arches shown. The 2 arches to the right are blind and looking from the other side only 3 arches were visible. Bridge 126 was an iron structure supported by a concrete slab inset in red engineering brick. The abutment supports were finished with ashlar caps and Sandringham blue bricks from the Wood and Ivory Albion Brickworks in West Bromwich. This photograph and information, also supplied by David Hatfield, shows an ex-War Ministry Austerity 210 running on Bridge 126. The bridge carried on one side the advertisement Thelsons Motor Oils. Locals called this area Thelsons for many years after the railway was gone. As we say one last goodbye to Kirk Smeaton railway station, this photograph was taken in 1965, again by David Hatfield. Thanks to David and Mick for supplying these images.
So we're going to continue. The station is that way, back towards Kirk Smeaton. This way towards Stairfoot. So we're going to cross the road. Sorry about the wind noise. I'm hoping the windmill's working as best as it can because it's pretty rough out here today. But you know, we want to get the footage for you.
Ah, a bridge. I'm bridge. Aha. Ah, we didn't know this was here. Or did we? No, did not. But as you can see, it's built in the typical Hull Barnsley railway style.
So the trackbed is just here. Just a little further up the embankment now. Obviously, can't get the drone up today, so I'll either return a different day or just show you from Google Maps. We've got in the trees up ahead, Exploring Dave, which will hopefully be getting you some great footage as well.
Oh, the things we do for YouTube. Oh, it's dead soft and boggy as this mud. Brambles. Right. Oh, there he is.
We can see the elevation of the cutting here. We've also got a cattle crossing. I'll try and put a engineering sketch of this cattle crossing up. That is a remainder of this embankment here at Kirk Smeaton.
So even though it's overgrown, there's still a little bit of a footpath leading through, and the indication of what its use would be, we've just passed. There's a big yellow bin.
As we're a little further along, we can see that the embankment, the elevation is lowering as the hills going towards Barnsley start coming into the scene of the railway. We can see in front of us, in the distance, the tree line's higher, indicating the lay of the land is also taller. And can you see the radio mast right in the centre of the screen? That is placed on one of the hills in Barnsley, indicating that the ground is higher. And this is the end of the railway embankment. It finishes rather suddenly, actually. It's been dug away and completely removed as the railway goes off that way towards Stairfoot. We're just scrambling back down the embankment now because we're going to go look at the castle crossing. It's just along here. And this is our next castle crossing on this railway adventure. Someone's taken all 4 sandstone tops. They've been removed. Should be a sandstone top on each corner here. They've been removed, and they've been removed up from the top as well. Someone's took those away. They'll be at someone's house now, no doubt, or they've sold them. And through the railway castle crossing, you can see one of the original bricks just on the floor there. And then on this side, the sandstone caps are still in place. There's one there, the other one's there just behind the tree. But down here, we can see some destruction. This end parapet's all fallen down because of the growth of this tree. And we can see the Hull Barnsley bricks here. All this has come away. All those top bricks have fallen off. They'll all be down here somewhere. And then, just there, behind these nettles, that is a Hull Barnsley boundary marker. Right there, viewers. Just sat in the mud. That has been there since 1885, along with this cattle crossing, this wonderful cattle crossing here at Little Smeaton. I don't know what this is. It's like old graffiti. It says Nimrod. I don't know what that means. If anybody knows what that means, please leave a comment. Right, I'm going to go back to the car now. I'm going to go a bit further along the railway embankment and we'll see you there. So keep watching. Hey viewers, so we're a little further down the line now. We're at bridge 129 between Kirk Smeaton, which is that way, and Barnsdale Tunnel, which is that way.
We are currently on Long Lane, which is to the south of Kirk Smeaton. On the bottom right of the screen, going downwards, is Crabtree Lane, where we're going next.
All of the top bricks have been removed here. I think they've actually been taken off and reused, because all the sandstone's gone, apart from the main pads, which will be simply too heavy to lift off. Then we're going to go around here. Let's try and get up on the embankment that goes back towards Kirk Smeaton. As was seen previously in these railway episodes, The railway embankment is beautifully sculptured, totally flat on top, and the edges just drop off wonderfully. Just at the edge of the embankment here, we're finding the British Railways type boundary marker posts. There's 3 in a row here, just as we complete the short walk between Kirk Smeaton and Bridge 129. So that way is back to Kirk Smeaton. What we're going to do now is we're going to travel up the embankment a bit, get up on here, and we're going to check this section of line out as we move towards the A1 and the Barnsdale Tunnel.
Re-record, don't fade away.
Right viewers, so we're going to set off down Long Lane and we'll turn right down Crab Tree Lane, and we're going to try and see what we can, we're going to try and get to the embankment a little further along, because here it's very steep and brambly. So I'm going to go down here a bit and yeah, we'll film it from over there. But we're not far from the A1 now. Not far at all. So we'll just moving along. You'll see the railway embankment to our right here. Just got to go through these little puddles. So we look for our next place to park up. Out for the fly tipping. Yes, we can see the embankment's levelling off now. So we aren't going to have the steep. Yeah, we aren't going to have the steep mess to go through. Right, so we just need to look for somewhere to park, and we're going to go over there, viewers. Just pan to the right. We're going to go over there and get back on the railway now, and we're going to see what we can see in those, in that tree line of the embankment. Hey viewers, so we're over near the cutting now, near the Barnsdale Tunnel. We've just found a bridge in this cutting. I'm going to try and get down into the cutting if it isn't too steep. Yeah, that's manageable. We'll get down into this cutting and we're going to film that bridge and have a look up and down here. Oh, look at that, an old accommodation bridge. That looks lovely. Check that out, viewers. That is a Hull Barnsley railway bridge. Doesn't look like it's used anymore by the farmers, but it's still here. Looks to have had the walls knocked off it, like we saw at the accommodation bridge near the Sugarloaf Tunnel. Remember that? The three arch viaduct? Remember that one from well earlier in the series? Looks here like these are the bricks from the parapets on the walls, and they've been knocked down and sort of piled up here. Looks like people have had little bonfires. Randomly there's a 10 pence there. I think it's a 10p. Yeah, it's a 10 pence. It's left on there. And we can see here some of the black bricks that we've seen along this series, with the rounded edge there. There's some more here. And here's some vehicles that way. There is I think there's a pheasant hunt on at the minute, so I'm staying out of their way. But this bridge is beautiful to look at. This way towards this way towards Barnsdale and the Barnsdale Tunnel. This way back to Kirk Smeaton and the Kirk Smeaton railway station that we saw earlier in this series, which was a lovely railway station indeed. Got Exploring Dave taking some photographs there. Check out his Instagram channel. We can see some soot, probably from bonfires, so it looks like low temperature burning, that, not from a steam locomotive. and that is the little accommodation bridge on this section between Kirk Smeaton and Barnsdale. So this way is to the Barnsdale Tunnel. So we're down in the cutting, and we were just saying to ourselves, even though the felled trees is part of the destruction, it looks quite cool how nature's sort of taken back what was mechanically engineered. The ivy growing on the felled tree, and then here we've got the mechanically dug out cutting. So this way starts to get more and more boggy as the cutting starts to deepen off. As we get to the other side of the A1, the Barnsdale Tunnel cutting is quite deep, and I would imagine at this time of year it will be very boggy. So luckily we've already filmed that bit, because everything that you're seeing here on YouTube was filmed in advance.
Links in the description box for explores of the motorway services and hotel seen in this drone footage. There used to be a viaduct carrying the Great North Road over the Hull Barnsley Railway. This was blown up when the widening of Barnsdale Bar was carried out. The rubble backfilled and topped off to make the Great North Road a dual carriageway. This has made a steep incline to climb down to get to the east portal of the 1,226 yard Barnsdale Tunnel.
Just down in the cutting, we've got the A1 behind us. Hull is behind us. In front of us, down the trackbed, is Stairfoot. But before we get to Stairfoot, just coming into view now, is the Barnsdale Tunnel. It'll be very similar to the Weedley, Sugarloaf and Drewton's tunnels that we've been to. This is the Barnsdale Tunnel, the second longest on this route of the 66-mile Hull and Barnsley Railway. And this is the eastern portal.
One evening, after filming this episode, I received a message on social media from an unknown account saying that if we returned to the locked Barnsdale Tunnel the following day, the high security door on the west portal would be unlocked for us. All we had to do was message when we had completed filming. So join us next week for the epic explore and documentary style video from inside this massive 1885 structure that has laid dormant for decades.
So that's it for this episode. Please tune in next week for the Barnsdale Tunnel and beyond. I'm Andy from ALW Research Team. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's completely free and it really helps me out when you do that, so press that little subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you next Thursday at 4 PM UK time. Bye bye for now.
Looking over my shoulder, looking back at your door.